Hi YouTube, welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. So we're carrying on with the Losi Micro B, and this time we're fitting another GPM part. This is the front spindles or steering knuckles, part number LMB021-B. So again, we're going for the blue ones. So let's bring you in for a close-up look and see how we get on with these microscopic parts. So if we open these, let's see what we've got this time. So this is a non-resealable packet. So far only the rear hubs have come with resealable packets. They are marked left and right. They do look really nice. So L and R should be fitted that way around with the GPM logo to front. So let's see what we need for this. So first off, I think we're better off getting the wheel off first. So let's quickly undo the wheel nut. That should make it easier for us to see. So we've got a screw top and bottom, and we've got the ball joint at the back. And again, we're going to be looking at the 050 driver to remove his top and bottom screw. So we get the top one out first, then we'll remove this bottom one. Then we should be able to ease our hub off. Then we're going to have to remove the tiny little ball stud first, and again with these are absolutely microscopic. I'll do my best to get them in focus, but they are really tiny. If we're going to fit these, you could use thread lock on them, but I personally wouldn't. So on this one, we're going to fit the left one, and you're going to want to fit the ball stud so it faces up on the actual RC once it's fitted. Bearing in mind we've got this upside down, so if we tighten this up, I would just nip it up because we don't want to be shearing this off. So move the right one out way, stop confusion. So we're going to be fitting it that way round. So next we need to remove our hex. We need to remove a little pin. And the little magnetic trays work brilliant for this because it holds pin up. Then we remove our actual shaft. Then we need to pop our bearings out. So we're going to get as bearing in first, both inner and outer. Then you can pop your shaft through. Then we need to get our tiny little hex pin. Drop that into place. Get your wheel hex and just sit it into position. Now would be a good time to pop our steering link back on. Then we're going to move our hub into position, and you're going to want to go incredibly gentle as you tighten these up. So as we start putting this screw in, just screw it down with your fingertips, and as soon as you start feeling resistance, stop, because it'll be very easy to shear these off and strip the threads. As I've said multiple times, you could use a tiny bit of thread lock on these, but I personally, if I can get away with it, I'd rather not. So again, as soon as you feel resistance, stop. But that's what his hub now looks like. So we've got the caster blocks, and we've got his hub fitted. So then we can pop his wheel back on, and hopefully we don't get any anything catching, and it's really fiddly to do this, but I would start this off with your fingers first, and then you know that you're not cross-threading anything. Then as you start screwing it down, as soon as you get resistance, you can stop. So you just want to make sure it rolls nice and free. And that's one fitted. Then we can jump to the opposite side, and you're just going to want to take the wheel nut off. Then again, our 050 driver, and we can flip it over. And I must admit, as long as you go really careful with these, we've not had any issues so far with fitting anything. And the standard ball joints do seem to come out quite easy. Again, if you're getting a little confused with this, you can just get your component at the side of the one that you're swapping, and you can just make sure you've got the same orientation when you're taking these bits off. So I'm pretty lucky in the fact that this little box spanner does seem to fit all these parts pretty good. So with this, you want the bit that protrudes opposite to your ball stud. And as I've said previously in videos, the reason I'm doing it like this and swapping a component at a time is, one, it's easier for people to find the video that they're actually wanting to watch, so the component that they're fitting, and two, I'm just curious how many of these parts are really compatible with the stock parts. So doing it this way, we can see if we fit a certain part, if it causes issues, or if it needs other GPM parts to make it actually work and fit correctly. So we put in as bearings, we then get as output shaft in place, get us little hex pin, and we should be able to pop our hex back on. Then we're going to clip this back into the steering, and we should be able to line this back up pretty quickly. And as I've said before, just finger tight on this, and as soon as you feel resistance, stop. It's definitely going to be an ongoing issue working with these 24 and 28 scale RCs. It would be so easy to strip these little threads out or strip the head on the screw. So just do it so it's just finger tight. Then we need to get his wheel back on. And I'll apologise now if any of this is looking kind of blurred or slightly out of focus. There's not a lot I can do for actually clearing the focus range on the camera with parts this tiny, but I am trying my best. And again with this, as soon as you feel it start tightening up, just stop, because the stock plastic hexes would be easy to crush. But yeah, that is the hubs all fitted. So we've got as spindles, GPM calls it, but I think they look really nice. Still got a little bit of slop in that steering, but we have got a whole bunch of other parts. So just to recap, we've now got rear hubs, we've got the caster blocks, and we've got the spindles all fitted from GPM. I don't see any issues with any of the stock parts. So far, it all seems to fit properly. We're not getting any binding. The steering still feels nice and free. And it's hard to isolate the actual parts on the end, but there doesn't feel to be any play in the aluminium parts. So I'm quite impressed with that so far. But yeah, that's the LMB021-B. The B on the end is for the colour, but that's fitted to the Losi Micro B, and it's looking a bit more bling now, and no issues fitting the GPM parts so far. Everything seems nicely finished on them. I've not had any fouling in the threaded holes or anything, and it uses the stock screws that come with your Micro B. So up to now we seem pretty successful. I'll add these to the stock parts that we've got. As I've said previously in videos, I will be getting another one of these as soon as they come back in stock to run completely stock against one that's fully modded, just so we can get an idea if any of these modifications actually make a big difference to lap time. But let's wrap this one up. So there we have it. This is the LMB021-B front alloy spindles for the Losi Micro B, and it's looking quite bling there. Quite impressed with the GPM parts so far. They all seem to fit. They fit with the standard parts as well, which is why I'm doing it in bits at a time. And yeah, they're looking quite nice. No issues fitting, no binding. So quite impressed so far. They do all seem to be very, very close anodizing. So it's not like it's going to look like a Harley Quinn car if you do go GPM for all the lot so far. But yeah, thanks again for watching Wtf Rc Cars. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, share to friends and family, and if you want to see what other bling we're putting on this thing, catch you guys again in the next one.